Before a word is spoken, the performance has already begun in your head. You rehearse a sentence, checking its angles, and run it again. It's driven by a very specific terror, the fear that picking the wrong word will instantly expose you to the judgment of strangers, or worse, leave you entirely behind. We fall into the perfection trap. We tell ourselves that being a professional means stripping away all uncertainty and projecting an illusion that we have the exact right thing to say every single time we speak. But chasing a flawlessly polished line doesn't actually make you a better communicator. It creates a paralyzing internal environment where staying silent feels safer than risking a single mistake. Unshakable confidence isn't summoned out of thin air when the pressure is on. It has to be built first in the quiet, mundane moments of everyday life. It starts with a simple practice, vocalizing your thoughts privately. You get comfortable hearing your own unedited, unscripted voice naturally. Then, when you feel that tight physical tension rising in your chest, you actively acknowledge it. Instead of hiding the anxiety, you just name it. These practices build a feedback cycle called the trust loop. You speak, survive, and build self-trust. This daily repetition hardens into a stable foundation. You stop relying on a memorized script and start relying on yourself. Then comes the crucible. You step up to the podium, the lights hit you, and the stakes are suddenly very real. Your biology takes over. Your heart beats fast. Your voice might shake softly in your throat, and an overwhelming urge to second-guess the sentence you just delivered floods your mind. In this exact fraction of a second, you have to make a conscious choice. You must abandon the goal of being flawless. Successful communication relies on the quality of the connection established between the speaker and the listener, which persists even when the vocabulary is imperfect. The people listening don't want a perfectly calibrated robot. They are looking to connect with a genuine, honest human being, even one who is visibly nervous. To navigate that nerve-wracking moment, you can deploy a rapid-fire toolkit, the Composure Under Pressure Checklist. Step 1 is grounding. You physically plant your feet and allow the tension to exist, rather than exhausting your energy trying to fight it. Step 2 is pacing. You force yourself to speak deliberately and calmly. That measured rhythm projects authority, even if your voice is trembling. Step 3 is prioritizing intention over vocabulary. Look at the visual difference here. When you focus entirely on the core truth of what needs to be said, it cuts right through the chaotic web of trying to find the perfect word for every single place. By running through these 3 steps in real time, you project grace and stability outward, completely independently of the panic happening inward. True professionalism in the moment is measured by the clarity of your intent, not the stillness of your hands. You're left with the realization that the world remained intact, despite every stutter or missed beat. We often rely on rigid, traditional standards of professionalism to shield ourselves from the vulnerability of being judged by others. The new standard for professionalism is simply trusting yourself. It is the repeated, courageous act of handling difficult conversations with maturity, regardless of how high the stakes are. Surviving the spotlight proves that your unpolished thoughts and feelings still carry life. Your voice matters, completely independent of how smooth it sounded. This is the practice of learning out loud, and it is the only real antidote to communication paralysis. This graph illustrates fear receding as you gain fluency through consistent practice. The intersection represents the moment the drive to speak finally outweighs the impulse to stay silent. This is communicating through fear, rather than waiting for it to vanish. When you stop agonizing over perfection, you leave room for connection, and that is how you earn the right to stand tall, look forward, and truly trust your own voice tonight.